Welcome back. According to the latest research from Counterpoint's Market Monitor Service, Indonesia's smartphone shipments grew 7% annually during third quarter in 2019, driven by a push in both online channels by retail platforms, various promotions in offline stores by Chinese players that are expanding their reach in the country. Chinese smartphone brands' domination in Indonesia truly shown. Chinese brands hold 4 out of the top 5 positions with 65% market share by volume. This is the highest ever share by Chinese brands in Indonesia, pushing local brands to mere single-digit share. In terms of brands, Xiaomi is maintaining the second position in the market and is reducing the gap to Samsung's first position. Xiaomi has locally produced 10 million smartphones with a focus on both the online and offline channels. It has invested in creating 40 authorized Mi stores. Indonesia is one of the key markets responsible for Xiaomi's global growth. The Indonesian government has introduced a law to curb the black market in smartphones, since 1 in 5 smartphones in the country are illegal. Regulations requiring registration of IMEI numbers for locally made smartphones will block the use of phones illegally imported into the country. This will boost the local manufacturing ecosystem and economy, since illegal or imported devices will no longer work, potentially leading to more domestic manufacturing. Approaching the end of this year, Indonesia is bombarded by the latest smartphone types from some smartphone major producers, from iPhone to Xiaomi. They're speeding up their speed to champion global market share. And in this segment, I would like to present to you some data about global smartphone market share. The first one will be about largest smartphone users in Asia Pacific. Yes, in South Korea, the number of smartphone users reaching 37 million users, Japan 62.6 million users, Indonesia 92 million users, India 317.1 million users, and China 687.7 million users. Asia leads the smartphone market both in terms of production and sales as well. The region houses a significant number of smartphone makers, which together hold a lion's share in the overall smartphone market. China, which has been the go-to market for any technology company, has reported a decline in smartphone units. According to Xiaomi, around 19% drop in shipments was registered, which was the biggest decline among China's major handset vendors. The smartphone market in China is going to slump further, according to Goldman Sachs, which studied that phone owners in China don't trade their phones for the latest models within a year's purchase. Overall, the slow growth in smartphone sales may hit companies like Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, and Apple. And however, the Indian smartphone market, which is dominated by Chinese vendors, is still booming, or is still a booming market, including Indonesia, which plays ruling global smartphone market. Let's see the next data. This is global smartphone market rule in quarter 1st, 2019. Vivo, 23.2 million units sold. Xiaomi, 25 million units sold. Apple, 36.4 million units sold. Huawei, 59.1 million units sold. And Samsung, 71.9 million units sold. Of course, we have the updated data from the third quarter in 2019, which was, presented Xiaomi as the second smartphone market players that occupying the world. US-China trade war could impact the Chinese vendors and maybe Apple as well. US and China have been closely linked through the supply chain for electronics, as the US imposed a tariff on $200 billion worth of goods imported from China. The impact on the supply chain may be evident. Although smartphones are among the consumer products that have been subject to earlier tariff rounds, the uncertainty exists that the next round could include laptops and smartphones. The smartphone market is a rather competitive market dominated by established players such as Samsung, Huawei, Apple, Xiaomi, among others. Most of these players keep launching new models with small technology changes such as battery power, camera configuration, and processor. And how about each other or each producer's market share? Let's see the next data. This is world's largest market or smartphone producers market share in the first quarter in 2019. Samsung occupied 23.1% of the world market share, Huawei 19%, Apple 11.7%, Xiaomi 8%, and Vivo 7.5%. Some of the recent developments in the market are in September 2019 amid the slumping Samsung flagship phone sales. The company is looking for foldable to be its next big growth engine. The company, after announcing Galaxy Fold, is reportedly working on a second foldable device that folds down into a compact size square. In the same period, Xiaomi launched another 5G handset, Mi 9 5G in China. The new 5G handset features 3 cameras on the rear panel and a single sensor on the front, and is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 Plus SoC. The company launched its next 5G handset just months after its first 5G handset, Mi Mix 3 5G. The first 5G smartphone from Xiaomi was launched in February at Mobile World Congress 2019. And how these biggest players ruling Indonesia's market? Let's see the next data. This is the 5 smartphone producers that rule Indonesia's market in the second quarter of 2019. Samsung occupied 26.9% of Indonesia's market share. Oppo 21.5%, Vivo 17%, Xiaomi 16.8%, Realme 6.1%, and other brands of cell phones reaching 11.7%. And Indonesia is a highly competitive market for smartphones right now, thanks to the popularity of e-commerce sites. Companies have been able to expand their reach through the country. This has led to Chinese brands growing rapidly, outpacing local companies and quickly closing in on Samsung's #1 spot. According to the latest research from Counterpoint's market monitor service, Indonesia's smartphone shipment grew 7% annually during third quarter in 2019. Chinese brands hold 4 out of the top 5 position with 65% market share by volume. And even though Samsung is still sitting in #1 as Indonesian market rulers up to third quarter in 2019, China's smartphone domination marks the highest ever share by Chinese brands in Indonesia, pushing local brands to mere single-digit share. There are some data about kinds of gadgets that mostly absorbed by Indonesian people or Indonesian market. What are those? Let's see the next data. Device usage in Indonesia. Wearable tech device 1% only, e-reader device 1%, device for streaming 2%, TV 95%. Tablet device 8%, laptop or desktop 22%, smartphone 60%, and mobile phone 91%. This one is taken from Suit January 2019's data. Wearable electronics, which are most useful when used in conjunction with a smartphone that is connected to the internet, continue to see double-digit volume growth in 2019 in the world. The penetration rate of smartphones, the percentage of subscribers with mobile internet, consumer spending on health and wellness products, and gym, health club attendance all continued to grow in 2019, especially in major cities across Indonesia. Many young consumers in major cities may also view the use of smart wearables and activity watches as part as aspirational or luxury lifestyle. Indonesia seems like become an interesting market for wearable electronics since the market share is still growing. So far, it's only grew by 1%. And hopefully the data will trigger Indonesia to rule its own territory as its own potential market. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.